I'm Richanda.
And I'm Susie.
And so we're going to be doing a video about circumcision. So it's actually, this guy sent us an inbox and he commented on our video too, I guess.
Yeah, so it's kind of long inbox. So the first part of it is I posted...
We'll go through it like part by part.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about it. So the first part is I posted a few comments on one of your videos talking about circumcision with your brother. Since I think my post may have gotten to sound like a bit of random rambling from trying to type and the number of characters they allow, I'm just going to say it in a message. Okay, so he said, personally, I think your rants about circumcision is simply because you both personally think uncircumcised penises look better than circumcised ones. I get the impression from your rantings about it that you feel uncircumcised men are better men in general than circumcised men. You think an uncircumcised man is more of a man than a circumcised one.
Okay, so we never said that. That isn't true at all. We fight for what's right, and it's like...
We don't judge a guy based on if they're circumcised or not. Yeah,
and I mean, like, think of it as tattooing your baby. You would never do that. So, why would you? Okay.
Yeah, like, why would you circumcise your son?
I don't know how I'm trying to say it. Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, the next part is he said, I myself am circumcised, but does that make me any less of a man than an uncircumcised man? Nope, nor does it make me any better. We are still all 100% equal. The only benefit to foreskin is a better feeling of sexual pleasure from the more sensitive nerves. That's all, nothing more.
Okay, there are lots of benefits to having a foreskin. It's there for a reason. I mean, you're born with it. Why get rid of it? It
protects the glands of the head of your penis, and it helps lubricate, and it is better for when you're having sex for both you and the woman, and so it is there for a reason, and there's a lot of benefits to it. So, and you're not 100% equal because you had something taken away from you.
And it's even there for masturbation.
Yeah, because guys who are circumcised and they masturbate, sometimes they have to use lotion and stuff. And whereas an intact guy doesn't have to.
Or spit, and it can be a problem when you can't just masturbate. You have to like spit or like
so it's actually more difficult for a circumcised guy. And we still don't judge you because you're circumcised.
But it's not fair that your parents did it to you.
Yeah, so it's like this guy basically thinks that we're not gonna like date a guy or something who is circumcised, which is not true. We just don't think it's fair that your parents did that to you.
Yeah, we are against circumcision for a reason. And it's a good reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next paragraph.
He said, do I believe that it's unfair that most men are circumcised when they are born and not given the choice? Yes, to a point. Several years ago it was done out of belief in religion and just to make them look like daddy's penis. But now you are in a day and age of sexually transmitted diseases and cancer and all kinds of illnesses.
Okay, so that is completely wrong. Okay, so yeah, circumcision was for beliefs and religions and daddy's penis, and it still is.
Yeah, and there's always been sexually transmitted diseases for years and years and years. So
and cancer and other
cancer's
illnesses.
Always been around. So circumcision does not really solve that.
It doesn't. Okay, you have to use the same protection, even if you're circumcised.
Even if you're circumcised, you could still get an STD.
Circumcision does not prevent any of that stuff.
No.
And those are all myths.
Yeah, and you can get penile cancer whether you're intact or circumcised, and it is such a rare form of cancer anyways.
Yeah, you're more likely to get breast cancer.
Yeah, a guy is more likely to get breast cancer than to get penile cancer.
Yeah, and so...
So I don't think you really have to worry about it.
You say yes to a point. Okay, no, there's no reason to believe in circumcision, and we just proved that. Because none of that stuff is true. I mean, you can get an STD from anything.
Yeah, so either way, circumcised or intact, you can still get an STD, so you might as well...
Or cancer.
Or cancer, so you might as well stay intact. It's like, there's no difference.
If you don't want any of those, just like lock yourself away from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So, babies don't have sex.
So you shouldn't be making a choice for them in the future for thinking that they are more chance of getting an STD or something.
Yeah, because he'll become an adult who can decide if he thinks circumcision will help prevent STDs or not. A baby does not have sex, so don't circumcise a baby for that reason.
Yeah, that's definitely a really stupid reason to circumcise your kid.
Okay, and so, next paragraph.
said, did you know that uncircumcised men are at more of a risk for urinary tract infections that over increased time could lead to kidney infections and even more kidney problems?
More serious kidney problems.
Oh, more serious kidney problems. It's not always related to poor hygiene. I know several men who are uncircumcised who wish that they were. They are always having problems no matter how often or how well they clean their foreskins. Any little secretion from the penis can cause problems.
Okay, so urinary tract infection is way more common in women because they have a smaller urethra. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And so really women are more at risk in this, and you don't cut off their clits.
Or you don't cut off anything down there when we get a urinary tract infection. We don't cut anything to prevent it.
So why would you circumcise yourself to prevent that? Anyone can get a urinary tract infection.
Yeah.
And so
he said it's kidney infections and stuff. Well, there was some doctor who said but he was really pro circumcision, so you kind of got to overlook all those like what is the word? All those tests and studies. You kind of got to overlook them because they're not always telling you the complete truth.
Okay, and so he says, I know several men who are uncircumcised who wish that they were. Well, they have the choice, and also they're having problems no matter how often and well they clean it. Well, maybe they're cleaning it too much.
Yeah, which actually removes like the good bacteria, and so that causes problems. If you clean it too much, you just really need to retract, and then you rinse, and then you replace, and then that's it. And
it's really simple, and so when you overclean it, it just messes it up.
It actually doesn't do you any good. So yeah, you're cleaning it too much. It's like
if you have problems.
It's like it's actually more difficult for like a woman to clean down there, but you know, we don't like scrub the shit out of it or anything.
Yeah.
You just like wash it, and then that's it. And anyways, and when you have a baby and they are intact, you just wash it like a finger, and you do not retract until they can.
Yeah. So that's not true. That it's easier to get a UTI.
Yeah.
That's dumb to think that. Not gonna lie.
Also, studies show that uncircumcised men have a higher chance of developing penile cancer. Yeah, penile cancer is rare, but it's shown to be most common in uncircumcised males. Some studies also suggest that women who have sex with uncircumcised males are at a higher risk of cervical cancer.
Okay, that all was complete bullshit. So, first of all, what is it? The Cancer Society, I think, says that you shouldn't circumcise your babies because you think they're going to get penile cancer when they're older, because it's not common at all.
And like we said earlier, it's actually more common for your son to get breast cancer than penile cancer. So if you're saying you're going to circumcise your son just for that, then you might as well, like, you know, be cutting off his breast buds too, which you would never do. So.
And then that it's easier for a woman who sleep with uncircumcised males to get cervical cancer. That isn't true either.
That's not true either. And the only guy I know who has HPV is actually circumcised. He's not intact, so
so that just ruins your whole theory.
Yeah, it ruins a lot of people's theories. So see, you can still get shit even when you're circumcised.
That's the only guy we know who has an STD.
I don't know any other guy with an STD. So.
Except for the circumcised one.
Yep. So.
Okay, so next one.
20 years ago, I would have said you were right about parents mutilating their sons, but as I said, now in this age, it's also becoming more of a form of protection against illness and disease. You asked your brother if he would ever circumcise his sons. When he said no, you told him good because it is wrong to do that. Well, what happens if, as he gets older, he realizes there are more problems with being uncircumcised, and he decides that no matter if you think it's right or wrong, he decides he does not want to put his sons through what he went through? What will you think of him? Will you belittle him like you belittle all men who are circumcised?
Okay, so we do not belittle men who are circumcised.
No, because it's not their fault.
It's their parents' fault.
Yeah.
And so my brother, actually, okay, I'll start with this. My great-grandpa is 95, and he has never had a problem with his uncircumcised, he's intact, okay, penis. And he's 95, never had a problem. But he has a problem with his eyesight, so should he have gotten his eyes taken out when he was born? And then my grandpa, my grandma's an intactivist, and so he was like, oh, I don't see the big deal. Why are you so pissed off about it? And then she was like, well, you're pissed off that you got your tonsils taken out. And that's not even as bad. And then she asked him how he would feel if he got circumcised, and he's like, oh, I would kill the doctor.
So there you go.
Track him down and kill him. So it just shows that lots of guys prefer to be intact. And so you have no evidence that my brother will have a problem, and I guarantee he won't. And if he does, he will deal with it, and I'm sure he will not circumcise his kids still.
Yeah, even if he has a problem, it's not like it's...
You don't pass on your problem to your kid.
Yeah, no, and like...
Everyone's different.
Both my brothers have not had any issues, and my one brother is almost 22, and the other is almost 18, and so, like, they're pretty much adult. Well, the one's an adult, the other's almost an adult. They haven't had any problems with their foreskin that I'm aware of, and my dad is intact, and I don't think he's had any problems, too, and he's, like, older, and so I don't know why you think that we belittle men who are circumcised or anything like that.
Because we don't. We say that their parents are stupid.
Like, we've asked guys before, and then they're like, oh, well, do you think any less of me? I'm like, no, because it's not your fault, and, you know, it's really, because it's not, so.
Okay, so now the last paragraph.
I personally don't think you should be telling anyone that they are bad parents or suggesting they are taking away their manhood with circumcision, because that is only your opinion. That's like me telling a parent they are bad for telling their kid to believe in God. But yeah, I think your rants are just because you personally like the looks of an uncut penis compared to a circumcised one. And not only that, but I think those men just want to get you going on the subject because they're probably getting off to hearing you girls talk about penises.
Okay, so they are bad parents if they're going to take that away from their child.
Yeah, they are.
There is no reason to do it. And...
So we should be telling them that they're bad parents because they shouldn't have done it in the first place, and they should feel bad about it. So yeah, they are bad parents.
Because it's not something you should do to your kid. And, okay, we have gone over this. We don't care if a guy's uncircumcised or not. Like, it's the point that they should have the choice when they're an adult.
Yeah, and we don't
it's their body.
Yeah, and it's not like we're just gonna ask a guy if he's intact or circumcised, and if he says and if he says, "Oh, I'm circumcised," then we're not gonna go. No, we're not gonna date you now. No, we don't. It doesn't matter in that way because it wasn't their choice. So, yeah, we don't judge on that.
And even if guys do get off on us talking about penises, how is that any of your business?
Yeah, yeah, that's not really your concern. So, whatever. And then, so then the last thing he says is just, thanks for taking the time to read, if you do. Well, clearly we did. Sorry for being so long, just wanted to clear up what I was trying to say in comments on your video.
And now we just cleared up that everything was wrong.
Yeah, we just cleared up that everything that you think is right is completely wrong.
Yeah. So I hope you don't circumcise your kids when you're older, because if you do, I mean, if you have them, or if you already do, I hope you didn't. Because if you do, then you're a douche.
If you do, then you are a bad parent, and I don't even care that I'm calling you a bad parent. But please, anyone who's watching this, please do not circumcise your kids, because we just cleared up a whole bunch of myths that this guy believed, and so maybe you believed them too, but please don't believe them. Research.
Yeah. So we're just going to add a little in. So pretty much, when we said about bad parents, maybe the parents from like 30 or 40 years ago, when they didn't know very much information, weren't bad parents.
But now that there's internet and stuff, and you can find so much information on it, there's not really any excuse.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, so don't just like circumcise your kids just because your parents circumcised you, because maybe they didn't have any information, and most doctors in their generation would have been pro-circumcision, where a lot of them now are not.
Yeah.
So it might not necessarily have been their fault, because they might have been like, they might have told them that it was better and they just believed it right away, right? Because they didn't research it. But now that there is internet, you can research it so much better, and you'd probably change your mind, so.
So now that there's so much information out there on circumcision, don't circumcise your kids because it's wrong.
And also they said something about, that's like me telling a parent they are bad for telling their kid to believe in God. But you can grow up in a religious home and believe in, and not actually really believe in God, but go to church and stuff with your parents. And then when you become,
you can grow up in a religious home and be an atheist.
Yeah, and then just when you're older, you can decide, oh, I don't want to believe in God anymore, or you never did, or whatever. But it doesn't affect your body in any way, so you can just decide just one day, oh, I don't want to go to church anymore, or whatever. And then that's just that.
That's not taking something away.
Yeah, so that is so not even a good comparison.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't circumcise your kids.
Please keep your kids intact. Bye.